So here it is, a little while after starting the two-wheel drive to four-wheel drive conversion. Sorry I haven't posted a video in a while, but it turns out when I started taking everything apart, I found an issue with the engine. I was having a little hiccup with the engine on full throttle, and there was something going on with one of the heads. One of the guides cracked, head cracked, and so we did find some metal at the bottom of the pan, so we went through the whole thing. So ended up redoing the 360, rebuilding it completely. That's why it took so much longer. Dual batteries, electric fans, same header, same pretty much everything I had before, just a basic rebuild, nothing outrageous. Just tried to get things detailed up since everything was completely out. So rebuilt the engine, transmission, went through the C6, had to convert the two-wheel drive C6 to a four-wheel drive C6 with a longer shaft, with the longer adapter to the transfer case. One of the things I wanted to do was use these tires. The Coker tire sells these STA Super Lugs, the 9.0 16s, and this is the look that I was going for. I still haven't put my shocks on. I still haven't done, it's still not done, but it's back on all fours and is rolling. Got my drive shaft cut. This particular Dana 60 kingpin knuckle axle, the high pinion, is from an 87 1-ton, and it's a little bit wider than some. I wish I had used one that was from, say, a 78 or a 79. I could have had this one, cut one end of the tube and narrowed the axle, because of the spring perch, of course, is integrated into the center carrier. So then the leaf springs didn't line up with the frame and had to go on the outside of the frame with hangers under, instead of having a shackle that goes through. One side is on the inside frame rail and one shackle is on the outside of the frame rail. That wasn't possible. So fabricated the front mount, of course, out of 5-inch channel iron, and I don't know if I'm still gonna build something to protect the front of the leaf springs. And then also made hangers for the rear leaf springs, and this is what I'm talking about with having right now about 8 degrees of caster. I gotta angle the axle up, back up a little bit to get my drive shaft angles good again. Basically, the wheels are, they say they're 36.5 inches tall, 8-inch tread, 8-inch wide, so they're the tall, narrow. The wheels are off of a 2010 it was a van. They're just a 7-inch rim, 3 inches out, 4 inches in backspacing, to give it kind of that narrow, old school look. I'm not really into the low profile wheels that stick out, and I didn't want a hubcap, so this wheel worked out pretty good. I went from the tension shackle to the compression shackle with another item from Rough Stuff. They don't pay me or anything like that, but I've used so many of their parts. I have their spring purchase this axle after doing the compression, going from the tension shackle to the compression shackle. The rear axle sat too far forward. Their pads have multiple holes for the center pin on the leaf spring, so that I was able to go one notch back and get the wheel perfectly centered in the fender well. I haven't built a bumper yet. This is something that I already had. It's a hidden hitch where the hitch is behind the license plate. Because of the gear ratios having to match the 410s front and rear, I use the axle, the Sterling axle from the 87, and it's a full float axle, and of course, you know, the matching gears front and rear. So with a 2-inch block, I used all the original leaf springs off the other truck, so I don't know if I'm going to be ordering a lift kit that'll get rid of the block. But in order to get the truck level, after I did the front, I had to use a 2-inch block. The factory, they use a 4-inch block, and I just wanted to get away from that. So right now it's riding on all the original springs that came on that 87, and you can see the tires, they measure 36.5, and they fit pretty well in the fender wells. I'm not too happy with this leaf spring being so low in the back. It's definitely different. The transfer case is a married transfer case, the MP205. I still haven't detailed everything under here. Everything that I drilled and did, I painted, but now it's time to go back, clean up all the work, and paint. And it definitely was, I still have more work to do with cross members for my shocks. I'm going to do the 4 shocks in the rear and the 4 shocks in the front with hoops in the front. I still don't have my front. I had to get this oil pan in order to avoid the front carrier. I needed a rear sump oil pan, and the original one was a front sump, and as much as I looked, I could not find one anywhere. eBay used, couldn't find one. I would have preferred one that wasn't this 8-quart sitting so low. They call this their off-road oil pan for trucks, but it sits a little lower and exposed more than I like. But I had no choice. I had to have a rear sump oil pan. I don't know if I'm going to be doing a different lift. These are the springs that came off the Ford, the F-350, and same with the steering box. Went with the steering box that's on the inside of the frame, the one that came off the 87 Ford, and got that all done. And I don't have everything all buttoned in. You can see I don't have a car key in that one. I'm just pulling it out for the first time, and still have a cross member to make for my front. I have another support that bolts in. All that is kind of temporary. It is definitely what they say. If you can get a 4x4 frame and then put your body onto it, that would have been much better. I don't have a way to lift this entire body off. I guess I could have emptied it, stripped it down, and used 6 people to lift it off of one chassis and onto another, but I ended up using my original frame. But I had to move the front cross member, make a cross member for the leaf springs, make one for the transmission, and for the carrier bearing for the 2-piece drive shaft. And all of this could have been avoided if I had used the later frame and just built all new mounts for the body. If I had used an extra cab 1 ton, it would have been 3 inches off from the wheelbase that I have now, and I could have shortened it to make it work 3 inches, but I didn't want the divorce case. I know everybody likes those, but I don't like the drive lines sitting real low, so I have the center section carrier bearing, the cardan joint. It got about a 12-degree angle and a slip yoke in the rear. I still haven't finished the exhaust. Just trying to put a video out. I don't have everything all done yet. It's just the first time that I pulled it out since it was taken down to start the 4-wheel drive conversion. So just wanted to post another video, show what it looks like, how it sits. My plan with the black wheels, just the stock steel wheels with the 9.0 Super Lugs. And this is what I ended up with. Definitely a little different than it was before. Still got some more things to work out. Added the hooks on the front to just kind of give it a 4x4 look. I think I'm gonna be building a winch behind the front license plate because I kind of like the look of the original. I don't like too many departure angles that are bumpers that stick out too far and get hung up on things. And still working away, but took it for a little drive without the shocks and without some of the things that need to be done. Just pulled it out, just took it out in front, not really a drive. So I'll post another video when I get everything else done and getting it out on the road. But for now, it's looking not too bad. Well, I don't know if I'm going to be building a rear bumper or what. I kind of worried about that roll pan and hitting that on things, and so but again, I don't want a bumper that sticks out real far. I'm not into any of those big step bumpers. Alright, well, thanks for watching. I'll post another one when it's time. Thanks.